You could be asking yourselves, well, if there's no CBA agreement, why would the owners even send them contracts? Why would the team send these players contracts? They're not going to accept it. There's no CBA agreement. Well, once you start showing them money, they're more likely to say, BS, money talks, BS walks. Once you start showing them contracts that they could possibly be getting.
Money talks and BS walks. Right now, WNBA owners are betting that showing players real dollar figures will break the union's resolve faster than any negotiating table ever could. Even while the league and the Players Association remain deadlocked with no collective bargaining agreement in place, the league has instructed all 30 general managers to send out free agent contract offers anyway, a move that, on the surface, seems completely pointless but clearly serves a strategic purpose.
To take this a step further, if I'm an agent, I am using this, and when I'm going to my player, I'm using it to tell them how much this would translate to on the CBA deal that the owners currently offered. So let's say my name's Kelsey Mitchell, for example. Boom, here's 400. The Fever are offering you a $400,000 max salary contract. You know, Kelsey, if you guys would accept that deal, it's really a $1.2 million deal. Oh, you know, I didn't think of it.
This isn't some administrative formality. It's psychological warfare disguised as business operations. Imagine being a player who has been standing firm with the union, ready to sacrifice the 2025 season if necessary to secure a fair deal, when suddenly your phone rings and your agent tells you the Indiana Fever just offered $400,000, while the Las Vegas Aces are willing to pay $350,000. In an instant, the fight stops being theoretical and becomes real money sitting on the table while you're still battling for principles. From the owner's perspective, that's the genius of the move. They're not just showing players what they could earn under the current CBA. They're also creating a financial baseline that agents can immediately translate into what those same contracts might look like under the owner's proposed deal.
I didn't think about it like that. That's what's going to get these players to jump. If they start equating what the offer is to what that new offer could be that the owners are laying out there. Maybe on the face, it's looking like a $200,000 deal. But if you actually were to accept the proposal that the owners are laying out there, it's really a $600,000 deal. Once the money starts rolling in, once they start getting shown actual dollar signs and figures, it's going to be much harder for them to stay united on this front.
Let's walk through how this actually plays out in real terms. Kelsey Mitchell get a $400,000 offer from the Fever under the current structure, and her agent sits her down and says, Kelsey, if we accept the owner's proposal that's on the table right now, that same contract translates to $1.2 million. Dana Evans sees a $300,000 offer, and her agent converts it as well. Suddenly, that becomes roughly $880,000 under the new deal being proposed. At that point, the conversation shifts. It's no longer about abstract percentages of revenue sharing or philosophical debates over player value. It becomes about staring at specific six-figure and seven-figure numbers while deciding whether to hold the line or cash the check. The owners understand human psychology. Standing united for better working conditions is much easier when the alternative is hypothetical, but it becomes exponentially harder when you're looking at the biggest contract offer of your life.
Labor law, the WNBA has a status quo obligation to allow the sending of qualifying offers under the expired agreement. A moratorium, a legally authorized period of delay, could be agreed to by the union and the league, resulting in the complete pause of all free agency activity until a new CBA is ratified. As of Friday night, just before midnight, multiple league sources told Front Office Sports a moratorium was under consideration, proposed by the league to the players' union an hour before the CBA deadline. With no moratorium yet in place, WNBA officials spent the past 2 days calling general managers and executives from every franchise to tell them that the status quo period means they can send out
So what's actually happening here from a legal standpoint? The deadline passed Friday night at midnight on January 10th, marking the third negotiating deadline, and it came and went without a deal. The league didn't suddenly collapse, but negotiations entered what's known as a status quo period. Under U.S. labor law, the WNBA has a status quo obligation, meaning both sides must continue negotiating while maintaining all the conditions of the expired CBA. Just an hour before the deadline, the league proposed a moratorium that would have completely paused all free agency activity until a new CBA was ratified, and the Players Association was still considering it as of Friday night. However, with no moratorium in place, the status quo period legally allows teams to send qualifying offers to free agents starting January 11th. That's exactly what WNBA officials spent the weekend doing, calling general managers and executives across all 12 franchises with the same message. You're authorized to send those offers out right now.
January 11th, how many players got calls from their agents saying, look, Chicago Sky are offering you this. The Las Vegas Aces are offering you this. The Los Angeles Sparks are offering you this. The Connecticut Sun are offering you this. The Atlanta Dream are offering you this. How many players actually got calls today with an offer and are now not so strong with the position that they are currently holding? If they are 100% all favor for a strike, are they now down to 90%, 80%, 75%? Are they now 50-50? Thinking that, this actually is a lot of money that we're turning down here.
Here's the question that really matters. How many players actually got those calls on January 11th? And how many agents reached out saying, Chicago offered you this. Las Vegas wants you for that. Connecticut is putting this package together. Atlanta's interested at this number. How many players who were once 100% committed to holding out are now at 90, 80, or even 75%? Because even if these offers look pointless on the surface, they accomplish something critical. They give players concrete information about their real market value right now. Am I viewed as a max player? Am I getting mid-level offers? Or are teams only willing to pay me the minimum? That clarity matters when you're deciding whether to sacrifice an entire season. And for players being recruited by teams connected to Caitlin Clark, the math becomes even more interesting. Maybe the Indiana Fever offers a mid-level deal around $250,000, but you're not just evaluating the salary. You're calculating the off-court marketing upside of playing alongside the most marketable player in women's basketball. That mid-level contract can realistically turn into a seven-figure total compensation package once you factor in endorsements, appearance fees, and social media growth.